promoting businesses and organizations to help them reach their full potential, lighting the path to the success of your business, enhancing the lives of our listeners by talking about things that matters most, helping you to shine your light emotionally, mentally, spiritually, socially, and physically, spreading positive vibes. You've got it locked, and you're listening to Lyte Vibrations, brought to you by Lyte Communications right here on CBN Radio 90.9 FM. And now your host and our director, Natasha Letson. Hello, you've got it locked and you're listening to Lyte Vibrations here, chilling with me, Tasha T, aka Roxy. And today our guest is Lorie. Lorie, tell us what's on your mind today.
Well, I'm here in the BBI visiting from Atlanta. I'm so excited. I participated in the festivities, the 65th annual festivities. I was with our friends, family, so just enjoying the BBI and reminiscing on good old days. That's what's up.
That's what's up. Well, welcome home, my girl. Welcome home. So, Lyte Vibrations, we're all about uplifting, empowering, educating our listening audience. What topic you want us to discuss today that, could be to help our community live a little easier?
Well, there's a couple of things. Speaking of empowering and uplifting, and really helping people to be their true self. One of the things that is important to me is our Afrocentricity, and family. But let me go back to the Afrocentricity because here in the BBI, when you hear African people start thinking about Dusty Foot and Big Gully, and it's important that people understand that our origin is from the continent. And the more empowered we are and the more we realize everything that we are come from that space, the more stronger, the more empowered, the more, it's just the more powerful we're going to be to go back to those spaces and see. I've had the privilege of being able to go to the continent and see how the Africans, Caribbeans, if you're black, no matter where you are. So that's one of the things, of course. What do you think, Roxy? What do you think? What do you want to talk about?
Well, I like that topic there, talking about the motherland, talking about, as Caribbean people, I feel that we have a little stronger vibration when it comes to our African heritage and embracing that. A little bit different from mainstream America, because we are closer, we have retained a little bit more of the culture than they did post-slavery. But I think that's awesome. It's exciting that you went to Africa and just tell us a little bit about it and how the perception was for you going there, and then once you got there, how was it in reality?
So me going there, I didn't really know what to expect. I did have some friends that visited there frequently, and so that kind of gave me some confidence in feeling safe in traveling to a whole other side of the world. Of course, you had some people who were like, oh my God, you're going to Africa, make sure you do this, make sure you do that to be safe. And but once I got there, it was really kind of creepy because from the airport you see Uncle so-and-so and you see, we all look the same. So I started seeing familiar faces even though I didn't know any of these people.
Wow.
I started seeing familiar mannerisms, and it really helped me understand, like, yo, for real, we one people. And so even to the construction, it's the same building. As a matter of fact, I stayed in a house that looked like my grandmother's house. Same thing. So the people, the food, I eat plantain, I eat spicy fish. The same food, same process. How they honor their elders, everything is the same. So I really felt at home. Minus the lizard then, which is the same thing here. They have some big old lizard over there, and they have some big old lizard here. So I guess it's the same. They could have leave that one there.
Wow, that's awesome. I would like to visit there one day, but I think I have some sort of phobia of, extended plane flying. I don't know where that came from. How long did it take you to get there? What was that experience like on the plane?
So we left out of Atlanta and we flew from Atlanta to New York, and then from New York directly to Lagos, Nigeria. So that was a 9-hour flight. And I know that sounds like it wasn't bad.
9 hours from
New York
to Africa, Lagos?
Lagos was 9 hours.
I thought you was going to say like 24 hours, 36 hours.
No,
that's not bad.
It's not bad at all. So, and listen, the experience. So we flew on Delta. So my recommendation, there are a lot of different airlines, but fly on one of the more reputable airlines so that you can get the full experience. I'm not sure what the other ones are doing, but my experience was really nice in that they fed us. I mean, every time you look up, they were bringing a tray or something, and everything was included. And in particularly, the foods were African food. So we were eating jollof rice and plantains on the plane for dinner, and then we had, you know what's funny? We had pate. But they didn't call it pate, they call it something else. Mm-hmm. We had Lorie, which they call it ankara. So it's the same foods, I promise y'all, we were eating on the plane and everywhere. So we sleep, by the time you watch a couple movies, you sleep, you eat 2-3 times, you don't reach.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. I might still have to take a sedative, but if I get enough courage, I can do it. But that was awesome. But you were telling me offline about, the spiritual journey you had once you reached to the motherland. Could you share a little bit about that and that experience?
Absolutely. So yes, part of my purpose for going there was for this spiritual enlightenment and cleansing. And so I know this trip, everybody's like, why you got off your locks? That was part of the process. That was me basically, the idea was to cleanse the old or remove the old. Just think about it. Your hair is the oldest thing on your body. So everything you did, good, bad, ugly, and indifferent, your hair is the first witness. Wow. And so part of the journey was for me to remove my hair and basically be born again. So it's just a symbolism of removing old and starting anew.
Mm-hmm. And since your enlightenment, since you've been fresh and reborn again, how has that the impact of that spiritual journey affected you in your life thus far, and how has it propelled you into wonderful new beginnings?
So I must say this is my second born again story, right? Because I've been baptized. So So in my upbringing, I was brought up in a Christian faith, and this process was more of an African traditional process. And so absolutely, it was kind of like confirmation of all the teachings I was given as a girl in growing up in the Christian faith, but also even more impactful because one of the things that is very near and dear to me is my ancestry. Mm-hmm. I really, next to God, is my ancestors. I live for them, and so that enlightenment and that connection, going back to the beginning, and then being able to do such a powerful spiritual process there, really elevated or just amplified what I already been taught, but really amplified it for me. Like, you are not here for yourself. There's a spirit. There's something bigger than yourself that is always watching and expecting the best of you. So even when I think to do not the best so things for myself, that's the thing that's playing in the back of my head, and really having that opportunity to and reflecting. And I'm older now, so when I got baptized, I was doing it because that was the thing to do. My parents, I grew up in the church, that's just what you did. And now making this decision for myself, it really was me trying to figure out what was my purpose and align myself with who I was created to be. And so now I'm constantly, or that process is now kind of accountability to, okay, who are you, girl? What are you here for? How is that in alignment with who God made you to be my best and highest self?
And that's very interesting because we have a lot of lost people out here trying to figure out, why are they here on the planet? Why are we here? God, what is my purpose? And that's interesting because a lot of us, we don't know, so we wander around existing in this life instead of living, and since, you've been to the motherland, and since, you had, your eyes open, and I especially like your linkage to the ancestry and having accountability for your actions, what type of tips or advice would you give to persons who are on a similar journey, trying to find themselves, trying to find their purpose, trying to find, their space in the world.
Absolutely. So I just did this transition in February, and just like anyone who has made a commitment to any kind of tradition, faith, or anything, or even trying to figure themselves out, we don't get figure out right away. Yeah? Right. So first and foremost, I want to humbly say that I am also, as much as I am constantly I am searching my own purpose, or trying to constantly stay in alignment with my purpose. And the way that I do that is giving myself grace. That's the first thing. Giving myself grace. Giving yourself grace is the first. And what do I mean by that? I was taught that the word grace simply means acceptance. So when we say it's by God's grace, it's by God's acceptance of you, the good, the bad, the ugly. God already knows that who you are. God already knows your flaws, your shortcomings, and otherwise. So really, you accepting those things for yourself and not measuring yourself against what somebody else is will allow you to shine, because ultimately I think we already born with our purpose, and over time society, our parents, our family, whoever has kind of knocked that out of us because we couldn't find our purpose doesn't align with what we think financially can support us. And so, but our purpose, absolutely, what we hear, I'm starting to sound like my grandmother now, like God always provides, right? So what I know is the more you align yourself with your purpose, or the more that you really walk in it and have faith in it, despite it's the thing that you do naturally without having to think. You don't have to go look for a purpose. You already have it. It's already in you. And it's the thing that you've been doing before you even knew the word purpose. And so trust that and do that and focus on that. And I'm not saying that you're going to figure it out right away, or that, we all watch these superhero movies. Even the superheroes take some time to figure out what their superhero power is. And forgive yourself when you didn't know that was your superhero power, or you used it inappropriately because you didn't understand the strength of it. So I would say, in the journey of learning self and aligning yourself, grace, so accepting yourself totally and forgiving yourself for the things along the way. Nobody judges a baby when he falls, because he's trying to learn how to walk. That's just part of the process. So any mistakes you've made, anything that you feel is undesirable about who you want to be, is still part of your process. And trust that, and still thank God for the mistake.
I love that response. I especially love the point of, go with the things that come easy to you, the things that you love doing, because the Bible says your gift will make your way. And these are the things that you have fun, you do it comes easy to you, and use that somehow as the starting point, and I really full well agree with that.
So I also want to say that we are multiple layer people, multi-dimensional. So don't trick yourself to think that it's just one thing. Just like a flower has many petals, onions have many layers, so do we. So your purpose is not just one thing, and it may be one thing today, and it may be something 10 years from now. Just know that we are multidimensional people, and that's also part of giving yourself grace and acceptance. All of you is well and good by God.
And the other point that you made about, forgiving yourself, that is huge. I mean, I don't even want to touch on forgiving other people. But forgiving yourself is something that, we take for granted, because I know, when I had my issues and I look back and I look at the many ways that I was, the culprit, or I try to make myself out to be the culprit, because sometimes it's just easier to blame you, sometimes it's easier to blame you for, the things that you go through in life. And I find that, where we might go through different things, and, we do play a part, because, at the end of the day, we make decisions for our best interest or not. So we do have a role to play in whatever outcome we have in our lives, but at the same time, to grow and to go in that direction, you definitely have to look at what happened in the past, what you did, and forgive yourself, and try to use that as a stepping stepping stone because you are the sum total of your experiences. And if you didn't go through certain things in your life, you wouldn't have been this person. So you have to use that to your advantage.
So I have a really cool sister friend of mine who we kind of vibe a lot on the phone in our spiritual conversation. I have two of them, well, a few of them, but this one in particular, she helped me. She said, everything that happens to you in life, really you manifested it. So even the negative, the ugly, the bad, you manifested it because something in your spirit realized that you needed to learn it, work through it, or something. So nothing happens to you, it happens for you to learn, to grow, to recognize there are some things, area of improvement, areas of alignment that's necessary. And so all of those things so when you see that, so now, Roxy, if you match my con, then I'm not going to blame, I'm going to say, okay, she matched my con. Yes, you have a responsibility, Roxy. But now I'm going to look at, well, maybe I shouldn't have my foot there. Maybe I should have, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I can now learn, well, these are the areas where I need to adjust because I can only control myself in any situation. Mm-hmm. So I'll adjust. And so then I can be better in alignment I can hear because when you're in better alignment, then you can hear from the Creator, you can hear from your ancestors, you can hear from Spirit, period, what you're supposed to do, and you're not as distracted.
I love that. When that's how we say about manifesting, because I really do believe in it. We are what we think we are what we say we are, and that's one of the biggest problems out here. And what I make a conscious effort to do every day, you have an opportunity to either bless yourself or curse yourself. Simply, Lorie, how are you doing? I hear not too bad. Try.
Gratitude.
I'm saying, so you basically cursing yourself every day. Think about it. How many times people ask you how you doing in one day? I have made a conscious effort. Anytime anybody asks me, how are you? I am blessed and highly favored. I am awesome. I set that for myself. I say that for myself, and I think that we need to do a better job of speaking positivity, speaking love, speaking hope, speaking, all great things and good things into our lives. And that is the power manifesting. The Bible tells you, be careful of what you say. Words are powerful, but we use our words to hurt and even damage ourselves. Well, that is pain killing me. Okay, well, if it's killing you, eventually you're going to die from it. But that is what you put in place. That is what you put your words on, like you put out in the ether. Right. So you have to really need, as spiritual people, we really need to come back and really reevaluate, the content of conversation coming out our mouth. We need to look at it, what we pronounce over our lives. We need to look at what we pronouncing over our children's lives. Right. And we definitely need an upswing in more positivity. And that, like you say, could only start with self. Right. If something is going wrong in your life, the root cause is self. And when we sit here and we blame it other people, you cannot be the only 2x4 thing that you could blame is yourself. Correct. Because only yourself can impact you. You're not a hostage unless you're a hostage or a slave or something in that matter where people control your life. But outside of that, you have that power. And I think that we operate too much as if we're outside of our beings. We everything is somebody else. It's God, yes. But at the end of the day, God working through you. Absolutely. And if He's telling you that, I am your Father and greater things you will do, why are we still here acting hopeless when it comes to our lives?
Yes, absolutely. I don't even know if there's anything else to say. You said it, you know what I mean? And I don't want to make this into a church service. We're having good conversation here. And first and foremost, I want to put like a pin to say, when people hear spirituality, they automatically think, in my experience, especially in the BBI, when we hear spirituality, we think church, we think preaching, we think, to me, as soon as you woke up and you were born, you are spirit. You carry in spirit. So when you breathe, that is a spirit. So I just want to know this conversation can apply to anybody, whether you go to church every Sunday, you don't go to church, you pray, you don't pray. You are a spiritual being, period. And so, and we are all here for the same, trying to accomplish the same thing, and whether you want to call it heaven, you want to call it, alignment, or whatever else you want to call it, it's really for us to be, for our betterment in this journey. So that's the one thing I want to say, and I agree with what you're saying. I don't even know if there's anything else to say that's real, like, I know we're talking and saying like some people can say that's easier said than done, and that's the purpose of grace, because you're not going to figure that out every day, or even though intellectually and spiritually we understand that for ourselves, you have up days and down days, and that's where the power of grace comes in, the grace of God, the grace of for ourselves to say, okay, well, yesterday wasn't as strong as today, or the day before, or I would have liked it. So today's a new day. Let's start anew, and that allows us to forgive ourselves. And I learned a really, really strong lesson in forgiveness last year, and it really humbled me. I mean, like on my knee, forget the knee, lay out on the floor, humble, because I had to ask someone to forgive me in the biggest way I never had to before. And from that, then I was able to, if I'm going to ask somebody to have to forgive me for my shortcomings, then who is me not to forgive others? Okay. Who is me not, you know what I mean? Like, who is me not to forgive? And I know I'm not using proper grammar, but some things you just have to say like that. Who is me? If I'm going to expect that you forgive me because I forget something, or I did this, I didn't operate in my best self. I didn't operate in my authentic self as I relate to you. If I say I go show up 5 o'clock and I come 6 o'clock, that's me not being in my true self, right? So if I'm asking you to forgive, I know that some people say that's a petty thing. It's small, yes. But just think on that. If I ask you to forgive me for that, who is me now not to forgive somebody else for their transgression per se against me? You know what I'm saying? The same way, if we go sit on our knees all day and pray to God to forgive us for whatever it is, and now we can't extend that same forgiveness to ourselves and others, that's where we get, that's where diseases come from, really. That's where we get sick. So that's, for me, grace, forgiveness, those are the things that really undergird me. And of course, like I said, that journey, this process that I went through was really for me to have a better understanding of who I am, align myself, and just have more tools to help me practice and being in alignment with the Creator.
Awesome. I love that parallel you did with dis-ease and disease, because that's what it is. It's a dis-ease of our spirit. Every time we're stressed, every time we're harboring anger, animosity, hatred, jealousy, all these things that God himself said he hates, we are creating dis-ease in our bodies. And when our bodies get dis-eased to a point, it creates disease.
Right.
You have to now deal with the pressure and the cancer and all these other chronic illnesses that are killing our people. I'm glad that you brought up that whole issue with forgiveness, because we all know somebody who experienced something as a child and as an adult has that experience was so traumatic for them, and whatever anger, whatever they're carrying around in their spirit that is giving them this ease for all these years has prohibited them, prevented them, stagnated them, has kept them, pinned to mediocrity. And I think that whole thing with forgiveness, first forgiving yourself, and then forgiving others, although sometimes it's hard, because it's hard to forgive somebody who ain't worth forgiving.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the forgiveness is for them, because I'm pretty sure they're walking around. Don't forget who you is a long time, and every time you see this person, your blood baking, your pressure gone up, you deteriorate in your body. That is you. Forgiveness is never for the other person.
Correct. So I'm gonna say this, and then we can move on to the next topic. And we got some juicy stuff I'm sure we want to talk about too, right? So this last little tidbit, when you talk about forgiveness and forgiving the other person and how difficult that is, right? Really and truly, You can't forgive the other person until you forgive yourself. So the reason why you ain't forgive the other person is because you ain't forgive yourself for even allowing the other person to, whatever the violation is you feel like it was, you vex with yourself, really. That's why you vex with them. You ain't vex with them, really. You're vex with yourself for even trusting him and that he wasn't going to cheat. You vex with yourself that for even having a child with him. You vex with yourself because you really vex with that, and that's when you forgive yourself for that. You did the best you had with what you knew in that situation, and it's not even your fault. Even though we're saying, ain't my fault, I didn't do that, but really deep down, you're vexed with yourself. Mm-hmm. Once you get past that, it's easy to just forgive him, because it don't even matter, because you done forgive yourself for even allowing or creating the environment for this violation to happen. Mm-hmm. You see? Mm-hmm. So that's how I feel about that. So just wanted, but we got some juicy thing that we want to talk. I want to hear what you got to tell me.
Yeah, we don't spend this hour. We're gonna have to wrap up this program and come back on another program to get to the hot stuff. But I really was loving this conversation about, that journey to the motherland, that spirituality, that whole thing about speaking positivity and love into your own life, and that forgiveness. I think this is a show that many people could benefit from, because it's a lot of things people going through out here. Surface, we looking like we okay, but we all have about borderline crazy, and that's because of the things that the unprocessed things that's going through in our life every day. So don't hate counseling if that's what you need, and definitely find time for self and find time to reflect. Lorie, final thoughts.
BBI people, I love you. I love you bad. I believe in us. I believe in despite all that is going on, I really believe in us as a people. I believe in the individual, good, bad, ugly, smiling, not smiling, however it goes. And if we really carry love in our heart, no matter what, when you decide to love people, love yourself and love people no matter what, the shortcomings just become a thing that you can look past, or you can forgive and you can give grace. So don't forget to give a lot of grace. Try to be a radical forgiver, and everything will be smooth. Mm-hmm. Best up.
Blessings. Once again, you've got it locked, and you've been listening to Lyte Vibrations here, chilling with me, Tasha T, aka Roxy, and our guest Lorie. Blessings, Lorie. Thank you for coming on the program and sharing this very insightful talk. And we hope, as usual, that the conversations that we have here on Lyte Vibrations uplift, edify, and educate. Thanks again for listening.
You've been listening to Lyte Vibrations, brought to you by Lyte Communications. Lyte Communications, your one-stop shop for all of your communications and marketing needs. From conception to completion, we offer the entire communications package. Choose Lyte for reach, results, and reliability. We have over 15 years experience, and we offer an array of services guaranteed to enhance your reach and increase your market presence. To showcase your business or organization on our program, contact Natasha Letzum at natasha@lightcommunications.com or via WhatsApp or telephone at 284-545-7355 to secure your package today. Community-minded individuals with knowledge in finance, health, business, relationships, spirituality, fitness, agriculture, healthy living, parenting, or any other topic that can enhance the lives of our community are also encouraged to contact Ms. Letzum to organize an interview. Thank you for tuning in to Lyte Vibration, and don't forget to tune in this time next week as we continue to bring you life-changing information. Until next time, shine your light.